Hello everyone and welcome to Comp 1. I'm your instructor, Professor O'Keefe, or Mrs. O'Keefe is fine. This video is just an introduction to the first module. So what I'll do is every other week I'll be posting an introductory announcement for the next module, and I'll have a video in it for you to watch. In the video, I will talk about the assignments, I'll give you some tips for completing the assignments, and I will show you my screen to go over how to access the assignments. You'll notice a lot of the modules look very similar, and so you'll start to see a pattern develop as we go through the semester. So a couple of things to get started. First of all, make sure that you start with the Getting Started module in the class. So let me show you what I'm talking about. On the home page, there's my contact information down here. I have a welcome video where I talk a little bit more about myself and my expectations for an online class. I've got my contact information here, and then of course you have the Getting Started button. Do not, when you go through this class, do not go over here and just click on the assignments that are to do and just complete them down the row like this for a couple of reasons. First of all, this is incomplete information. There are readings and other things in the module that you need to do before you can complete those assignments. So don't just click on the list. The other issue is that they're out of order. They don't always list them in the right order. So I want to make sure that you are going through it in the order that I have it set up in the module. So a couple of things here before we get into module 1. Syllabus, you can go print here or at least download it. Definitely keep a copy of it. And same thing with the course at a glance. The course at a glance is just a one sheet that shows you basically this kind of stuff. All the assignments will complete the semester and their point value, but also ties it to an outcome in the class so you can see why we are completing it. So the modules button is where you'll go most often when you get into the class. Obviously, Getting Started gives you information about your textbooks. Your textbooks, by the way, we have 2 for the class. So you'll have, this book is our reader. There are some professional writing in here. There's the chapters on how to write the essays that we'll be doing, that kind of thing. So you'll need this book right away for the first module, as well as this one, which is our handbook. The handbook is grammar, and also MLA style and MLA documentation, which we'll get into just a little bit this semester. You'll see this book again if you take Comp 2 at Allen, because we use this for the MLA. So just keep that in mind. You do need your textbooks right away. You've already paid to rent them. All you have to do is start here, and it will give you a link to requesting your textbooks. Once you've gone through these modules, by the way, you can minimize them, which is really nice. And so then the one that you're working on will pop up. So all you can see right now is module 1, which is what you're supposed to be able to see. I don't want you working ahead in this class. The new module will open up usually a couple days before the previous module is due, and then you can start working on the next set of assignments if you're that far in the class. So a couple things. You start at the beginning. I always give you an overview. I'll post this video right here so you can view it again, and then just hit the next button. It'll take you through the module, and you can kind of review everything in order. I always give you a to-do list in case you get lost. And then we go through the assignments. The first assignment that you'll complete is a welcome email. The instructions are right here. Basically, once you email me, then I'll put your points in the grade book. The introduction discussion board is pretty standard. These 2 assignments help me to get to know you a little bit better. Obviously, in an online class, I don't really get to see my students, and so it can be a lot more difficult for me to remember which student is which, and just to really get to know you. So this helps. Sort of standard introduction stuff. We have some review for you, and this is sometimes students really need some review and sometimes they don't. So you can look through these chapters and look for things that you didn't know already. Your first quiz in the class is academic honesty. The module that I minimized earlier is about academic honesty. You want to go through that. Make sure you understand the concept before you take the quiz. The quiz is scenario based, so you basically decide, is this academic honesty or not. Narration readings. So this is getting into our first essay. So once you're past the academic honesty quiz, you're now into the first writing assignment for the class, which is a narrative essay. So you want to make sure that you go through the chapter out of the patterns book first before you start working on the essay, because that'll give you a good foundation for what you need to be doing. And then this is the actual essay assignment. So you want to read through here. These are the criteria that you will be graded on. If you don't meet these criteria, obviously, then your essay will be penalized grade-wise. And then there's some ideas down here linked. I try to give students ideas for topics because sometimes that's the hardest part, is coming up with a good topic. And if you ever have questions about what you should write about, you can always send me an email, because I can tell you what would work best for this kind of assignment. And so if you have more than one idea, you can always send me an email. I've got some sample essays linked for you, and then an MLA sample essay that goes through what it looks like to format. We do use MLA style. It's standard for English classes. Really important that you format your essays specifically, although most students format all of their work for the class the same way, just because it's good to get in the habit of doing that. Make sure that you have like your name on your work. That's really important. And then, the standard headers and heading and the double spacing and the font and everything. And then this is the submission for the narrative essay. So you'll want to read the criteria earlier, work on the essay. This is where you go to actually submit it. The grading rubric is not here yet. I have to retype that, but that will show up down here so you can see how each criteria is weighted when I sit down to grade your essay. So just keep that in mind. You click on Start Assignment, you upload your draft. It should take most file types, but if we encounter an issue, then we can always solve it. You may need to, I've had success with Word and PDF so far, so those would be good ones to use. So that is Module 1. You are more than welcome to send me an email or a text message if you are confused about anything, if you're struggling with anything, can't get your textbooks, can't access things in the class. If you're brand new to Canvas and you don't know what's going on, be sure to send me an email, to give me a call. You can in my office, would also be fine. I want to make sure that we start the semester off successfully. So let me know if you have any trouble. Otherwise, have a good week.